Hello everyone, here's another centroid problem. We're going to locate the centroid x bar y bar of the shaded area, and I broke this shaded area. Each section I broke it up as section 1, section 2, and section 3. Now each one of these sections I have a new distance in my y. This would be 2 inches and this would be 7 inches. We use our equations as x bar is equal to the summation of area of each section times the centroid in the x direction for each, and also the summation divided by the summation of the area. And the same thing for our y bar, except now we're using the centroid for the y over our summation of a. Let's write that a little bit more clear. Summation of a. So I like to build my table. I call this my section, my area in inches squared, what the x bar for each section, that's going to be in inches, and then I like to multiply my area times my x, and have my y bar, which is also in inches. This is in inches cubed, and my a y bar, which is going to be inches cubed. Now if I kind of drew, and maybe this will help a little bit, if I drew the free body diagram for each one, this might help us locate the centroids for each section. And then I've got my long 7-inch section 3, and I know this distance is 2 inches. This is 1 inch, this is 1 inch, and this would be 10 inches. Maybe I should spell that out. So this is 1 inch, and this is 2 inches, and then this distance is 7 inches by 1 inch. Now if I were to draw the axes on each one of these, we know that this here would be my y, this here would be my x, same thing here, this would be my y, this would be my x, and I should have drawn this, and I'm going to draw it really quick. Let me erase it here just so I can show it a little bit easier. I'm going to draw down here. Again, where this was 7 inches and this was 1 inch. Now the reason I wanted to show this one down here is because my axis is way over here. So here's my y bar, or my y-axis, and then my x-axis is going to be here. I'm going to try and draw that a little bit better. Where my x-axis would be here. And we would know that this distance from, let's go all the way to the edge there, this distance here would be 10 inches. Okay. So simply we could look at the areas of each one of these. We know this was 1 inch here. 2 times 1 would be 2. I'll label my sections really fast as well. 1, 2, 3. So the area, so let's go ahead and, this is section 1, section 2, and section 3. So section 2 is 10 times 1, which would be 10. And then section 3 would be 7 times 1, which would be 7. So my x bar, so if I put the centroid in each one of these sections here, my X bar, you can see that it's going to be half the distance, which is going to be half an inch to this composite section, or to this rectangle. This one is also easy. Section 2, we're going from the y-axis, which would be 10 divided by 2, which would be 5 inches. And then this distance here, as so, would be either 10 minus 0.5, because we know that this is going to be broken in half. So each one of these sections is half an inch. So 10 minus 5, or we could go 9, because we're subtracting 1. So we're going to land up with 9.5. Now our y bar, we're coming up from the x-axis, and I should have drawn this like this, guys, where this is 7 to there, and this distance from here to here was 1 inch. So the y bar for 1, I'm going up half. Half of 2 would be 1. And then for section 2, that one's also pretty simple. That's just going to be half an inch in the y direction. And then our distance to our third is here. So half of 7 is 3.5. So going from here to here is 3.5, but we got to add this 1 inch right here. So that's going to be 4.5. And now it's all our calculator. So we're doing area times x, and then we're doing area times y. So these are my values: 1.0, 50.0, and 66.5. And then over here, I got 4.0, I got 5, and I got 31.5, which gives me the values of 19, 117.5, and 40.5. So you can see that everything would be positive, because everything's on the right side of the y-axis and everything's above the x-axis, and we're not subtracting out any areas. All of these shaded areas, what we're using, which would all be a positive value. So plug into my equation then. I get x bar is going to be 117.5 inches cubed divided by 19 inches squared, and y bar is going to be 40.5 inches cubed divided by 19 inches squared. So for x and y, we'll put it in as point. Oops, let's go ahead and put our point notation, and we're going to go ahead and add our, definitely add our units. So 6.18 inches, comma, that's 2.13 inches. So this would be our x bar and our y bar. And if we were to ask to be locating it on our object, it'd be somewhere in here, where this value here is 2.13 inches, and this value here would be 6.18 inches. So that would be our centroid for the entire shaded area. Okay, thanks.